Hey guys, and welcome back to Brexit England, Northern Ireland, and Eastern Europe. And in Brexit England, the water companies have come to our aid. They've heard our cries and they've decided, OMG, we have to do something to help these people. And the water companies have said, we are over the next decade, we are going to be spending billions bringing the infrastructure up to as if we are an EU country. And then you shout out to the water companies, and who's going to pay for it? Or the water company might shout out to you and say, and who's going to pay for it? And say, Mexico. They said, no, you are. Because we're going to raise your bills. Because that's what the water companies are going to do. They're going to raise our bills, even though these people have had billions of pounds to share out amongst their shareholders, right, and the senior staff, right, in bonuses, right, had billions, right, because you always got to remember, yeah, that these people, they need to buy themselves, yachts, big houses, Bentleys, helicopters, and they need to send their children to private schools. Right? So that's why they need the money more than you do. They've had billions of pounds, right? They've had more than enough money to pay for this infrastructure. And what gets me is how these people can look at people. They don't even look people. They look people straight in the face, right? They don't keep their face straight. They've got a smirk, because you've got to have a smirk. If you're allowed, if you're allowed to get away with the shit that these people are allowed to get away with, you've got to be smirk. I would be smirking. If I was allowed to do this, I would be smirking. That's why I know these people are smirking. So they're just smirking. You know what I mean? Just tell you straight in your face. There's people in this country who agree with this as well. Right? It's better, right, that this is run by private companies, because we need the profits to go to them so that they can give themselves a fantastic life and their families. That's what it's got to be, surely. I mean, why else, right? Would the people in this country, right, insist, it's better that these businesses are run by private companies? Right. I mean, even Keir Starmer said a couple of days ago, yeah, that it would be too expensive to take back these companies, because as I always tell you, yeah, Keir Starmer is like these guys are really conservatives, because what they've done years ago, they've stolen the Labour Party away from the working classes. Yeah. So as a result, yeah, anybody that raises their head from the left, right, they just chop it off. That's what they do, right? Because the Labour, just in the same way, yeah, that in America, you rarely have like one type of politics. Do you know what I mean? And that's like a conservative light or conservative very heavy. But that's what you get in America and in Britain, right? Because they wouldn't allow, the left in the Labour Party, right, have to get behind the right, but the right will never, ever in a million years get behind the left. They will join with the Tories, right, to get the left out of the Labour Party, and they'll do it every single time. They've done it to back in the day. They've done it to Militant, right, and they've just recently done it to Momentum. Right, and all of those people, yeah, from Militant and Momentum, all of those people, they're just working class people. That's what they are. But they brand them, right, as being hard left, and they look, if you just listen to the amount of people, yeah, who working class people don't like Angela Rayner, right? She's far too aggressive, right? But they much prefer the Tories, right, who are very passive aggressive, highly passive aggressive, because the Tories, they do horrible stuff, nasty stuff, but they just do it in nice suits and they smell very nice while they're doing it, right? And the working classes are like, oh no, well, Angela Rayner, she looks like she's got dirty fingernails, right? But like Angela Jenkins or one of the other Tory women, they look at them in awe. They look at in awe of those people. Do you know what I mean? And they, those people are they're like the devil in disguise. The Tories. That's who they truly are, right? But so that's the, this is the reason why our water companies are in the absolute position that they're in. So if you're expecting any help from Keir Starmer, that's not going to happen, right? All we know right now is that the water companies are just taking the absolute piss out of us, and they're just saying, you know what, we have had that money, right? Now we're coming to you for the money for the infrastructure, even though we've had the money out of you already. Right? They might as well just say to us, what the best thing you can do, right, is if you could just go down to your local waterways, your rivers or your seas or whatever, and just piss and shit straight in there, right, and just chuck your used condoms in, your used tampons, and your used baby motherfucking wipes, and you might as well chuck your nappies in there as well. And welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all your messages sent me. A special thanks to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that signed up. So thank you so much for that. I'll go for all the messages. I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all the messages for definite. And we have to just slip over to America quickly, yeah, because Rudy Giuliani, right, once America's mayor, right, Rudy Giuliani has been selling pardons for Donald Trump at $2 million a shot, and they've been splitting the money. And let me tell you, if there's a paper trail to this, my God, this really is going to hit the fan for these guys, because I don't. Well, let's put it this way, right? If they have sold pardons, then you're going to get grand juries. People have to go to grand juries, and if you lie to a grand jury, then that's perjury. Right. So, you just have to say, well, how much people are going to say, well, who got a pardon? They're going to say, no, I didn't get a pardon. Because, with that type of money, there's generally a paper trail as well. So, because most people don't do that money in cash. Some of them might, but most people don't do that money in cash. So, there'll be a paper trail, but this is going to be real massive for these guys. And then obviously, plus Rudy Giuliani, he's got some sexual offences that he's been committed as well. While telling the Democrats these people are sexual predators and paedophiles, and, telling Hillary Clinton's got a paedophile ring that she's running underneath a pizza restaurant, and one of their crazy people went and shot that thing up. Do you know what I mean? And all those times while Rudy Giuliani is doing that, he's sexually abusing his assistants. Wow, these people, there's something wrong with these people. But we'll move back over to Britain, because Twitter is a cesspit, right? And when I was on Twitter yesterday, right, just reading up about some of this Vauxhall stuff, and some of the people, there's some vile, stupid idiots in this country. People, oh, well, good riddance to Vauxhall, right? Their cars are shit anyway. I'm sure that the Vauxhall Corsa is one of the most successful vehicles in the world. Because, they've been making them since what? W-Reg or something like that. They've been making them one hell of a long time, right? They've one hell of a long time they've been making them. So it might even be earlier than that, to be honest. But they're one of the most successful cars. And that is the attitude of the people in this country. Oh, well, they could just piss off out the country because we know what? We don't need them. The same type of people who will tell you, I don't care if I'm poorer. I don't care if my children have less opportunities. I just want Brexit. And now the German car companies has finally stepped in, right, to say, let me tell you this. But they haven't stepped in to tell the EU anything. They've stepped in to tell Britain, you need to renegotiate, get yourself a better deal. Otherwise, right, these new electric minis, the ones that have got the Union flag in the back, as if the Germans couldn't take the piss any more than that. They put the Union flag in the back of the iconic Mini, right, that Britain can't produce. What's going to be next? The Triumph Spitfire? They could bring a TR7, to be honest, or they could bring back the Stag. Wouldn't surprise me with the Germans if they say, we're going to, how about that Stag thing? But what's going to happen is, if the German car companies have told Britain, they're supposed to be telling the EU, because remember, right, Dave Davis tells us, oh, actually, the German car companies would never make the EU give us a bad deal, like it had anything to do with them in the first place. But he knew, the people I'm talking to are stupid. So the German car companies have now said to Britain, listen, if you don't renegotiate this deal, your New cars, electric cars, are going to be 10% more expensive. But that's like, no, that's probably 10% more, because we were going to be more expensive than everybody else anyway, right? So that's more than likely 10% more expensive than where we was going to be anyway. So a 10% on top of it was going to be more expensive than everybody else anyway. I don't know how this country's got into this state. Actually, I do. It's because there's people in this country who have been born with a racist gene, and those people voted to leave the EU, and they've destroyed this country. And if you don't believe me, just ask the head of Burberry, who has said the Brexit is destroying, absolutely destroying their business. They're having such a hard time. That's what they're saying, right? But they haven't said, we want to blame Kemi Badenloch. The people are calling for Kemi Badenloch to resign, because you know what, she's had to go back on a lot of these laws that they said they wanted to get rid of. So Kemi Badenloch's had to go back on a lot of these laws, because what they've done is they said to Kemi Badenloch, we need you to sew a hem in that dress, right? But you can't use a needle and cotton. You can only use this brick. That's what they've said to her. They said to her, we want you to plaster that wall, right? But you can't use any tools. All you can use is water and the plaster, right? You have to mix it with your finger and slap it up with your hand. That's literally what they've asked her to do. They've asked her to do the impossible, right? And now she's looked and said, something. And she even asked them the other day. She even said to them the other day, she done like what we Ramonas have been doing all the time. What laws is it you're upset with? And none who could answer? Because that's where we are in this country, in Brexit Britain. My friends, I have to back down now because I'm already 2 minutes over. So this, my friends, is By Any Means Necessary. I'm the MC John Ribbs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.